Hello, I'm Dan with the George Memorial Library, and today I'm going to give a brief overview of some local African American cemeteries. I'm going to visit Watkins and Old Imperial Farms Cemetery and the recently discovered Sugarland 95. Unfortunately, it's a bit too windy outside for me to record my voice, so I had to bring this part inside. The cemetery is off Highway 99 in Sugarland, Texas. It is surrounded by a high board fence, although part of the gate door has fallen off its hinges. Before the Civil War, the area was largely a cotton producer. Later on, sugarcane and a dairy plantation was added. After the Civil War, the area was occupied by small tenant farms operated by African Americans. It is possible a house stood on the site, but nothing remains there to indicate the exact location. The cemetery was the burial site for African American residents, such as the Watkins and Thornton families, who owned farmsteads during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. As of 2005, there was only one broken headstone. The only readable information on it are the dates, August 1st, 1871 to July 23rd, 1942. So far, no name has been located that matches the dates on the stone. As for any other stones, they were apparently removed by the foreman when the land was a dairy plantation because the cows kept hurting their legs on the markers. It is unknown what happened to the headstones, and none so far have been rediscovered. With the assistance of ground-penetrating radar, 7 other graves were located. Generic gravestones were placed at the locations as of the end of 2007. Plans were made to include a plaque with a list of names of possible people buried there. As of January 2021, it does not appear to have been done. The oral tradition, according to some longtime residents of the area, the cemetery extends out past the border of the fence. Also, a second cemetery may be nearby under the north baseball field. It was unmarked at the time of land development, and so far no other remains have been located. The cemetery is on the former grounds of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's Central Unit Camp No. 2. Previously, it was named the Imperial State Prison Farm and the Central State Prison Farm in Sugarland. The cemetery is gated and has a second gate surrounding it, since there may be graves outside the known cemetery. In 1908, the Texas Department of Corrections purchased the 5,200-acre plantation. A year later, the Imperial State Prison Farm was opened. At that time, the state operated a convict lease program that allowed prisoners to work for private companies. In 1912, a small cemetery was dedicated for the burial of prisoners who died while incarcerated. The penitentiary's name was changed to the Central State Prison Farm in 1930. In 2011, the facility was closed. A convict lease system was created by state governments in the South following the Civil War. The oldest marker is dated 1912 and the latest 1943. A short distance away are the Sugarland 95. That is the name given to the 95 bodies unearthed in 2018 during the construction of Fort Bend Independent School District's James Reese Career and Technical Center. The remains, believed to be 94 men and 1 woman, are likely those of convicts who worked and died at the Bullhead convict labor camp. After the Civil War, the 13th Amendment was added to the Constitution, which reads, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, nor any place subject to their jurisdiction." This was used to justify imprisoning mostly African Americans on any charge no matter how small, such as loitering or not having proof of employment. Bullhead Camp and the subsequent cemetery were located on the land formerly known as the Sartartia Plantation. Using historical documents from the Texas State Penitentiary and death records from Fort Bend County, the team of Sugarland 95 researchers was able to compile a list of 71 men who worked and died at the Bullhead Camp between 1879 and 1909. And with DNA testing, they are trying to determine the names of the individuals buried there. Fort Bend ISD wrote the Sugarland 95 into its local history standard, which was first implemented during the 2019-2020 school year. The Sugarland 95 were reburied where they were found, on center grounds. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this, and comment if you'd like to see more of this kind of video or have suggestions of other places to visit. And I'll see you around the bend.